Hi, I'm Dennis Hensley.
And I'm Jeb Havens.
And this is the official rules video for our game, You Don't Know My Life.
The game that brings people together by celebrating the experiences, big and small, that we all share.
Only some of which are embarrassing.
Actually, most of which are
Most of them. The good ones. Anyway, thank you so much for buying the game. And if you stole the game, thank you so much for stealing the game.
It means a lot to us. Let's start with the setup. Give every player a pencil and an answer pad.
And also have every player take one of these player cards and put it in front of them with this round setup side up.
Now, whoever the player is with the birthday coming up soonest is going to be the reader for the first round. So take a stack of question cards, shuffle them, and place them on the table in front of the reader.
That's the whole setup. Wow, that's easy. Now on to the game.
Basically, each round plays out in 3 phases.
Phase 1, the question.
A question card is read aloud to the group and everyone writes down an answer.
Phase 2, the reveal.
The answers are shuffled and then dealt back out and read aloud.
Phase 3, the guessing.
Players take turns trying to match an answer to the player that wrote it.
That's it in a nutshell. Now we're going to break it down.
To start each round, the reader takes the top 2 question cards off the deck, decides which question they want to ask the group, places the other on the bottom of the deck, then reads the question out loud, and then puts the card face up in the middle of the table.
And then everybody, including the reader, writes an answer on one of these answer sheets.
Some tips about answers. You can write as much as you want, as long as it fits in the square on the answer sheet, and it's legible enough that someone else could read it.
Our rule of thumb is this: try to write at least 2 sentences. For example, if the question is, what was your first concert? And the answer is Pat Benatar, don't just say Pat Benatar. Say Pat Benatar and it was outside and the people in front of us were making out and then they started smoking pot and I'd never smelled it before and it made me gag.
So express yourself.
I went there. I totally went right back.
Share your feelings. Imagine that the words and why are at the end of every question.
Anything you write down on the sheet is valid, even if you feel like you don't have a quote-unquote good answer.
Yeah. So for the question, what was your first concert? What if you've never been to a concert? Just say that. I've never been to a concert. I don't like music.
My parents are dicks. I hate folding chairs.
My parents are terrible.
I'm allergic to bleachers.
Anything. Whatever the question brings up for you, whatever memories or feelings is totally valid.
The point of the whole thing is to just share a little bit about yourself with your answer.
However, if there's an aspect of your story that's a dead giveaway for you, then maybe be a little vague while still being honest.
For example, if the question was, what did you get picked on for as a kid? And my answer is, they used to call me Dennis the Menace. Well, that's probably me, of the people sitting around the table. So maybe I find a way to say it differently. I say, oh, they used to call me cartoon names. Or I just come up with some other thing that they picked on me for. And luckily, I have plenty of things.
Okay, so you've written down your answer. Just tear off the answer sheet and then place it face down in the middle of the table. When everyone's submitted an answer, the reader gathers up the answer sheets, shuffles them face down, then deals them back out, 1 per player, so everyone ends up with an answer sheet.
And now here's the thing that always trips people up. If you get your own answer, it's fine. You treat it the same way as if you got somebody else's answer. So don't announce it. Don't say, oh, I got my own answer. It's the same regardless of whether you get your own answer or somebody else's answer.
Right. So when you get your answer, read it silently to yourself so you can make sure you can read it when the time comes out loud. And if you can't make out a word with the handwriting, just take your best guess and fake it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. Okay, now here comes our favorite part of the game. It's like our secret sauce to the game.
The hashtag.
Okay, so after you silently read the answer to yourself, you come up with a fun, clever hashtag that summarizes that answer, and then you write it on the space provided on the answer sheet right there.
So the main goal of the hashtag is to capture the essence of the answer so that people later have a reference to remember which answer is which without having to flip the answers over and reveal the handwriting underneath. But we found that this is a chance that most players take to get a little creative and use fun wordplay, puns, alliteration, references, whatever you want. So for example,
what would you do for my Pat Benatar one?
Yeah, so for Dennis's Pat Benatar answer, if I read that answer to myself, I might write on the back, hashtag hit me with your best pot, or just Pat Benatar.
Jeb is the king of the clever hashtag. And that's his gang sign for that.
That's just standard.
Yeah,
Everybody knows
it's just
that.
everyone knows that?
Yeah.
All right. Don't kill yourself if you can't come up with a perfect, clever hashtag. We can't all be Jeb Havens, right? You can be very literal, hashtag Pat Benatar or hashtag smelled weed. Remember, the point of the hashtag is just to help everybody remember the answer that's on the other side of the sheet.
So once you've written down your hashtag, put your pencil down and wait till everyone else has done that same thing. So once all the hashtags are written, now the reader begins the reveal. So the reader first reminds everyone of the question for the round, and then they start by reading the full answer on their answer sheet, then reading their hashtag, and then placing it in the middle of the table, hashtag side up.
And then all the other players do the same around the table. You do your reading of your answer, you say your hashtag, you put it in the center of the table, all the way around the table, until all the answers and the hashtags have been revealed.
So now you've got all the hashtags faced up in the middle of the table, pat yourselves on the back, you're done with the reveal and ready for the guessing phase. The guessing phase starts with the reader. When it's your turn to make a guess, you just say one of the hashtags that's on the table, and then say the name of the player that you think wrote the original story that's on the other side of that hashtag. So for example, I might say, I think hashtag hit me with your best pot is Dennis.
And if they guess you correctly, you say yes, and then you flip your player card from the white side to the colorful side, where it says, you do know my life. And that means that you've been guessed, and the player cards are how you tell who in the round has already been guessed.
This is also your chance to tell the rest of the story.
Oh good, I'm so glad you asked. So okay, I buy a Pat Benatar Crimes of Passion shirt at the concert. I wear it to school, so proud. I'm sitting in the back, and this really, the bad boy of the school sits behind me, and I kind of liked him, and I liked his attention. And he wrote a dirty word in each of the letters, of the block letters, of Crimes of Passion. All I remember is I was incest. But anyway, then I realized I had to go to choir later in the day, so I had to take the shirt off and wear it inside out for the rest of the day. But I wouldn't have changed it because I liked the bad boy paying attention to me.
So as you can see, the follow-up story and the conversations it inspires are a big part of the game, so enjoy it. But as the guesser, if you got it right, you get to take that answer sheet off the table and put it in front of you as a point for your scoring pile. But if you guess incorrectly, the other player gets to say,
You don't know my life, with as much or as little sass as you may be feeling in that moment.
But either way, if you get it wrong, your turn is over, and the player on your left now has the next turn to make the next guess.
And you just keep going around the circle until all the answers have been guessed and all the stories have been told.
Once all the answers have been guessed, the round's over. To set up for the next round, simply have everyone flip their player cards back to the original side,
Bonk!
and have the reader take the stack of question cards and pass it to the player on their left, who becomes the reader for the next round.
And the game keeps on going until every player has had a chance to be the reader. And then it's over. That's it. You made it.
To find out who won, just have everyone gather up their scoring pile of answer sheets and count them together on the table like this. 1, 2, 3, 4!
And whoever has the most answer sheets wins.
And that's it. That's how you play
You Don't Know My Life.
If you want a few more details, like common questions, additional rules, game variants, including one that can play with as few as 4 players, keep watching this video.
Otherwise, we're going to turn you loose to play the game. Go! Run free! Be free! Have fun!
They grow up so fast.
Oh, I promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
We hope you have a blast playing this game, and we want to hear about it. We want your comments, we want your feedback, so send us an email at ydkmlgame@gmail.com.
Seriously, anytime, day or night, we're so into it. And also, we have our Instagram feed, which is ydkmlgame. We're going to be sharing fun stories and hashtags, things that go with the game. So if you have something fun that you'd like to share with the world, email us that, and we'll put it up there.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Together, we are going to save the world.
One mildly embarrassing story at a time.
Now you may have noticed that the question cards come in 3 beautiful colors, blue, pink, and green. And we did that on purpose to help you know what kind of a question you're in for.
Yeah, so the blues, we call those icebreakers because they're the safest ones. Something like, what's your favorite smell?
Oh, that's easy. J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Yeah, have you ever smelled her?
No.
You need to get out and smell her. It's worth it.
The pinks, now these are the ones we call the sweat breakers because they get a little bit more intense and edgy.
Like skinny dipping story, go. I'm skinny dipping right now, only in clothes with no water.
And the greens are somewhere in the middle. We call those friend makers because it's not that edgy, but you may still have to think a bit to have an answer.
So if you're hosting, you may want to go through the cards before the game and make sure it works out for the people that are coming over. Like if it's your parents, for example.
Yeah.
You may want to take out the pinks.
Yeah, or leave in the pinks.
Yeah, maybe you have cool, hip parents.
Maybe only pinks.
Pinks only parents. If you're playing with people you just met and you're not that great at remembering names like I am, you may want to download the special nameplate version of our player card. It's on our website.
YouDon'tKnowMyLifeGame.com/downloads. It'll help you remember everyone's names, but mostly it just looks really cool.
Kind of sexy. flips.
It's like 3D.
Yeah.
Just check it out. Now, in case it's not obvious, you can't guess your own story, like the story you just wrote and that was really you doing it, because that would kind of be cheating. But if there's a hashtag that you wrote and the story on the other side is not you, you can totally guess that.
However, if you are guessing and the only answer left in the center is your story, you can take that and add it to your pile as a point.
Here's another rule of thumb, to make the game a little more fun. If you hear a story from a friend and you absolutely know that story 100% because you were there or they told you that story
You got
before,
drunk and threw up in that same garbage can. You were there.
Exactly. You were both there together. Sometimes it's more fun to let that story go at least once around the table before you guess it to give other people a chance to guess.
Sometimes after the guessing's been going on a while, you might forget what a certain hashtag means, what story is on the other side of it. You are not allowed to pick it up and read it. No. What you can do is say, I forget what hit me with your best pot was.
And then the table can help you out and tell you what it was. Or if you're absolutely all stuck and you all completely forget, maybe you're a little drunk, then the person who wrote that hashtag can pick it up and reread the answer to the table. But the idea is to keep the handwriting and the specific words of the story hidden underneath.
When's this thing over, we hear you ask? When does the game end? Well, we recommend that the game ends after every player has had the chance to be the reader one time.
However, if you want to have a longer game or shorter game, you can all agree ahead of time to play more rounds or fewer rounds.
You could be like, hey, let's make this the last round.
Yeah, completely up to you. But if you are playing a shorter number of rounds with a lot of players, maybe space it out so that every other person gets a chance to be the reader, just so it's not always the same side of the table reading.
That's a good idea.
Okay, here's a variation of the game that we find works well for only 4 or 5 players that we call You Don't Know My Lie.
Because there's lying involved. Lying makes everything better.
It plays basically the same as the original game, but when a question is read, everyone writes down 2 answers, one that's true and one that's 100% a lie. So when all the answers are shuffled up, they're dealt out 2 per player, everyone writes 2 hashtags and then presents 2 answers during the reveal.
Then when the guessing starts, you're guessing the true stories first. So if somebody guesses your lie, you still say, you don't know my life, because they didn't guess your true story.
Keep going until all the true stories have been guessed, and then you continue by now trying to guess the lies. So when you ask someone if it's their lie and it's not, you get to say,
you don't know my lie.
See what we did there? Yeah.
So good. Anyways, have a great foursome or fivesome, and we'll see you on the other side.
That sounds a little
dirty. I meant it to.
Oh, well, there you go.